Good morning and welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the talk, think show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so-called African American didn't find his way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, the Indigenous one. And I want to answer a question that I got from a person. And I just want to show you guys what to look out for with all this information swirling around and what you have to do to make you sure that you're immune to it. So a brother asked this Native American cat, what's the difference between a Native American and a regular old American? And the Native American got mad. The Native Americans started putting up posts like this, not this one. We're going to get to this one where you see Samuel Jackson. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But when the brother asked the Native American, what's the difference between you and just a regular old American? The Native American went ballistic. And so the brother naturally started, good morning, Cottrell, how you doing? The Native American just went off. And the brother just asked a simple question. It's the same thing most Negroes do when you ask them to explain what they're talking about, they get mad. The first thing that has to be noticed is the question never gets answered. There's a reason for that. The questions never get answered because they don't have the answers. They're just picking up some bullshit that they've been taught. And now they're spitting it on you because you don't know. That's all that is. What you call Native Americans, they've been taught the same thing about themselves. You notice Native Americans never, you have Negroes out there giving you their genealogy back to the 1800s, back to the 1700s. That's impressive for people who didn't know who they were 6 months ago. But when you ask the Native American to do that, they want to cuss you out. And the cold part about them is they get a lot of us to back them up. They get a lot of us to back them up, which is why we always find ourselves in these positions, because we create these rituals and we set them against ourselves. And then we're arrogant about it like we're doing something good, and all you're doing is killing yourself out. So that's what the Native Americans, always ask a Native American, to all of you guys listening, ask them, what's the difference between a Native American and a regular old American? They won't answer you. They won't answer you because they know the whole thing is hoping that you don't never know. And like I say, the African American will dog himself out if you give him a quarter. Which brings me to this image right here. Yeah, the Native, everybody knows who you are. Everybody knows. You don't know, and they're trying to keep that game going. And you just go along with it. I can do. You have to be sick that these African Americans have let the world come over here and piss on their grandmamas and granddaddy's grave. That has to make you want to vomit. I know many of you don't care. Basketball season started back. We ain't got to worry about that. That attitude has got you in the position you in now. So, like the other day, I was talking about in the social media world, or what you call Facebook, you have a lot of people in there, and a lot of people are trying to learn. So you always have these people, they call them trolls, and everybody know what trolls is. Trolls, they just cause confusion. This cat, now, Bobby Hemmett, and I talked about Bobby Hemmett the other day. Bobby Hemmett was a cat. I never met him. But the vibe he put out to me was that he read a lot. And that was interesting to me because I read a lot. Now, we didn't read the same things, but he learned something and he was sharing it with us, which was cool. He was telling you, look at what these people are writing about you. And even him himself saying, no, we ain't Africans. We ain't. And he was in that social mixing, you know, all them cats back then was talking what they had been taught by the so-called educators. You got to follow the line. How did this stuff get started? You had those cats up in New York teaching all this bullshit that they learned from everybody else, and it messed us up. Spread across the country and messed us up. That's what happened. Where did everything almost start? In New York. Why? Because you have a high population there and it's compact and you can spread a lot of information in that time. Not saying that the brothers didn't, were messed up or anything, but this is what happened. And what we try to do, since we know that's what we did, we don't want to talk about it. You better talk about it because that's how you're going to find the answers to getting out of this shit. All you have to do is ask, when were we taught we were Africans? How were we taught that? When did we see it? I first saw it in 1960. Well, I didn't see it in 1960 because I wasn't here in 1960. But a movie came out called Raisin in the Sun, where Sidney Poitier's sister was with an African, was trying to get with an African. That's how they put it into your culture. Get your artists and all the people who you love and respect, they get them to say stuff to put it in your mind. That's where I first saw it. Other people who are older than me, they probably saw it in other veins, but that's how I saw it. Then I start putting together, well, dang, when did that African stuff started getting taught? John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben. Who did they learn from? Who did they get their education from? They were in New York. Who was in New York teaching that education? That Boaz and Herkovitz. And see, what we do, we don't follow the trail and put stuff together like that. We don't do that. Anybody can come out and say anything, and we'll believe it. Anything. We won't question it. We won't ask them how they got to their conclusion. We won't think about it. What anything anybody says, we believe it. And when I say we, I don't mean all of us, but I'm talking about, I say 90%, 85, 90%. And you got some people that say, I'm way off. It should be higher. But what I want to show you today is how we do ourselves in, and we're arrogant about it. So this image you see right here of Samuel L. Jackson, this is from that group, Body Image group online. And, it's the, I don't go in there a lot, I just go in there when people tag me in there. And there's these Native Americans and these African Americans, they're ganging up on these indigenous people, and an indigenous people is putting that foot in. And so, and you can tell the indigenous people are young. So the indigenous people, they just asking certain questions, and these people get mad. So the indigenous people, they young, so they start going in on them back. And I just try to tell the brother, hey man, you just ask them. You see, they don't know, so that should just be that's your sign to move on. They don't know. They don't know. So they call them stupid, dumbass. And these people were they were nice. They were cordial. They were trying to have a conversation. These people started calling them asshole, you dumbass, and let them know when you see that means these people don't know what they're talking about. You're saying stuff that they can't answer because they don't know, or they do know And if they and if it show that they don't know, you're embarrassing them. So they have to stop that from happening. So they'll call you names, talk about your mama, blah blah blah. Yeah, they don't know. So one of the things to get that Native American thing out of everybody's mind, because they ain't Americans. Because if they were Americans, they would just call themselves Americans. They would call themselves Americans. Whenever you put something in front of it, that means you're modifying what's being put in front of the word. That's all it means. Native Americans are not. Ask them; they'll tell you. You don't know that, so everybody uses that against you. And you're arrogant. You start using the same language they use against yourself all the time, thinking, trying to make fun of us. Now check this out. You got Indians who don't know they Indians siding with people who are trying to replace them. This is where we are. Don't say it. Now you better say it, because that's what these idiots doing. They're helping people who are trying to steal your heritage. They're helping them do it. And you want to breastfeed them? Are you serious, guys? Serious? Serious? This where you at? Yeah. This is where the African American is. So let me get to this right here to show you how this happens. And this is what I'm saying, y'all. Y'all might think I being hard. I'm not. But damn, an ant knows better than this. These are grown ass people. These are grown ass people. And they don't want to talk about it because it's never talked about. That's why y'all got to start calling their ass out. When they say something, ask them to explain it. When they can't explain it, and most niggas talking this African stuff don't know what the hell they talking about. They can't. Even the experts, they're dumb. And that's being and dumb people would kick my ass for calling them dumb. And no, they not like us. These dudes know the truth. They're lying to you for some kind of kickback. That's all they're doing. That's all they're doing. I got receipts. That's all they do. So this is a cat in Bobby Hemmett's group, and this is one of the dudes who sides with the Native American. And he doesn't know what he doesn't know. He doesn't know anything. And you can't stoop down to his level, because he'll remain there. He'll never come out of it, because once you're taught to be a dumbass, you will be a dumbass a lot of times. It's not all the time. Most of the time, you'll be a dumbass your whole life. You'll die a dumbass because you're stuck at a certain place and you won't learn more. You won't move along. Psychologically wise, spiritually wise, socially wise. You know, you see the people, you see the drunks on the corner. They don't live. That's their territory. They do the same ritual every day. It's not to help them, it's to harm them, of course, but still they do it every day. So here's this cat. So the people in the group, the Indians in the group, they're explaining it. They're asking questions, because how are you saying, why are you saying that? I mean, they got all kind of memes against Phoenix Moon. Me, they got a picture of me up. Some dude with the same name as me. Don't look nothing like me. Like 5-6 inches taller, but he just has my name. These cats put that up and say that's me. For real, dude. I don't look like this. I don't look like nothing like this. Nothing. And this is what these cats put up for information to try. When people try to smear and lie and stuff, they'll do anything. That's what these cats are up to. So here's a dude, and and they have Africans in there too, slamming the people you say your mamas and daddies, they slamming your ass in a group created by one of the cats in your culture that was really kind of intelligent. You got Africans in there dogging you, and you lick their balls every time you get a chance. And you don't see why you sicken me? Really? So you got these Pan-Africans, Native Americans, and Africans dogging out Indians, dogging them out. And I think it's one or two brothers in there, and they laying them out. And so the dust up comes from these African Americans, these Native Americans, and these Africans. They can't question, they can't answer nothing. Nothing. All they do is put up memes and stuff, like Michael Jordan in an Indian headdress, something stupid, something like this. So, but I want to talk about this picture right here, tell you about it, and then tell you the significance behind it. Look at Samuel L. Jackson's face. Look at his face. Does it look like he's happy he's there? Does it look like he really found, according to the story that's told? Does Samuel L. Jackson look like, yay, I'm home? Does Samuel L. Jackson does he have that look about him? Is that the same look he had on his face when he's talking about his family back in Tennessee? Huh? Actone Indigenous 17 said, no, he looks pissed. He do look pissed. Somebody told him, look, nigga, we need you to go here to make believe you niggas over here is African. We need you to go over here since you the biggest star. We need your face to put a stamp on what we say. And he said, yes, boss. Renzo Duckworth said I'm sorry. Original Lone Wolf says, of course, he don't. This picture is a Freemason ritual. I don't care what it is. He's still killing off his grandmama. And that's what you see Negroes doing all the time, killing off their grandmama. So back to this picture. So that's the picture Sam this dude put up. Then he puts up this meme, tell me we're not African, motherfuckers. So I'll tell you you're not. Africans will tell you you're not. Africans from the continent are saying, no, well, nobody came over and kidnapped millions of our children years ago. I don't know where y'all got that story from. But when you ask Africans, and you have a lot of Negroes that go over to Africa, and I asked them, well, what did the griots tell you? You did go see the griots, didn't you? Well, my shoestring got caught and I didn't know. You know the shit we do. So you're going 5,000 miles to find something, to search your history. You don't go to the griots, the keepers of the history over there to get information. You just go to jewelry stores and buy in shit like you do back at home. That's what you do. I have not met one yet who said they do that. Do you ask them about the history? Do you go to the places where the ports and stuff were? Do they look like ships could get in there and take a boatload of slaves? Come on. You a living being, human being on this planet. You learn stuff. You pick up stuff so you can transmit. and receive information. What information are you picking up and receiving? And what the African American picks up is some dumb shit. So this is a brother who's posting this, and it's a lot of African Americans. They're like this. This is the kind of stuff they do against the indigenous people of this land to mock you. Not only does it do that, this is what it really does. It gives all those other foreigners coming over here ammunition to be used against you. You see how that works? The Indigenous Accawmacke says she don't think this is Samuel. It could be a lookalike. I mean, shit, you can't prove that was Michael Jackson that they put in the ground, can you? No, but everybody knows who it is. I mean, you may see that as a double. I mean, I don't, but if I first saw it, I'd say, oh, that's Samuel Jackson. It's already been transmitted of who that is. I mean, yeah, I mean, he wearing shades, hiding his eyes. Yeah, I mean. But when it says we're not Africans, motherfucker, who always says motherfucker? You know, so that's another way they tie it in, you know? So this is what Africans put out. These are the kind of memes Africans put out, Native Americans put out against you, and you're the one giving it to them. That's what we doing. That's what the African American does. Yeah. So this is what I'm saying. So check out what this sister said. We should tell them there is no sign of a slave ship, but they can find a Titanic and Dino bones. I mean, we don't need, I mean, you're at a time when to going back to school, you mean we're not taking over and trying to find another way to educate our children? We just waiting for them to open the doors. Yeah. There's nothing, we have nothing, no way to figure out how to make sure our children is mentally prepared to be in this world, where this world is going. We're not doing nothing like that. Don't get caught up in the words, because that's one way that they always throwing words in you to throw you off. Something new that you haven't seen that you'll be digging in the trash for 100 years. Talking to a lady now, she's 80 years old. She feels disgusted with herself that she never in her life, she was a Christian, telling everybody, dogging everybody out, the Lord, the Lord, the Lord, all this shit. And at the end of her life, she has worked to build another man. These are her words. She's building their country. She's building their reality on her land, while she's all fucking around, going on cruises, eating at all the buffets. You know the stuff Negroes do that they won't do for themselves. They won't produce their own food for themselves. They won't be on the land that people once held in their property. They won't go to that land and start doing anything for themselves. Whatever they got for them in them cities, come on. Without Negroes in them cities die. Negroes don't even see that. They don't even say, oh, you know what, damn, why don't we, oh man, we can go back to the South, land is cheap. They gentrifying here. Let's do this. The actors ain't coming out the football, none of that, basketball players, none of that. Ugh. In this time frame, this is the African American. This is the black man, the first man on the planet. Da, 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 da. This is the black queen. What's up, y'all? What's up? What's happening? No, I mean, no thought. Won't even pick up nothing to read it. But you will pick up everything else somebody comes and puts in your face. That's why we lose. So I just want to share this with you. And this is where the Negro is. And my suggestion to everyone, do the best you can. Always walk towards light and do the best you can. Because if you think the African American Negro color, they've already been programmed to self-destruct. It should be obvious. It should be obvious. Oh, how is it obvious? Because they see that a group of people who are trying to get from under the shackles of white supremacy, their job is to throw confusion to make sure you don't understand what's happening to you. Most Negroes do that. The church Negroes do that. The teachers do, the average Negro you talk to do that. You mean to tell me you don't have a court system set up already? We ain't got that, huh? We don't even talk. And when you talk about it, we get pissed off. We haven't built nothing for our elderly people to be, not have to stress out. You say you love the ad. If you love the ancestors, you damn sure love the people who here now. We're not trying to make their lives better as they get out of here. The social media arena, be careful with it, because they got all kind of people out there to confuse you. No, I know. The Indigenous Accawmacke says, I'll share it with you, and she's right. She's absolutely right. And so this is a teaching moment, and this is what I'm saying. So I like this sister because reality, reality, not what you think is going on in the cartoon, not none of that. Reality. They post fakes all the time. All the time. She's absolutely right. But the fake that they're posting are getting you. So let's say if they posted a picture of me, but it wasn't me. If they may have put a shirt on, digitally, trying to make you think it was me. Once you think, so you are. That's all I'm saying, baby. I mean, that may not be Samuel Jackson. That might be Samuel Jackson White. How they be doing this shit now? I don't know. And you're absolutely right. But once you think about what they tell you, and that's why it's important that the Negro thinks for himself. I mean, this has been said for how long? And I don't have to think for myself. I can do it with my mind, what I want to do with my mind, nigga. You don't tell me what to do. You ain't my daddy. Ain't that what you say? Yeah. Yeah. So check out what's being thrown at you. And a good thing, what the Indigenous Accawmacke said, study if what they showing you is real or not. Because they sure do slide a whole bunch of fake shit in. And I know y'all know that. I know. Does anybody think that the Michael Jackson they put in the ground is the same Michael Jackson with the Jackson 5? I mean, really? Do you think that? Because some people do. Some people do. And will get mad if you think about it. There's so much going on in this world, y'all, that we don't even know. There's things that you've seen, I've seen, that a lot of people haven't seen. Why? Because they live in that one square. They from the time they're born, they get up and go to school, walk the same route home, eat the same type of food every day up until they're 18 years old. Not everybody does that. The smart ones don't do that. Now that they have no schools, all them people saying, you better get your ass to school. Now that there ain't no school, what they saying? These are the questions you have to ask to make this make sense. You don't see Negroes going crazy because no school. Come up with your own way to educate your children. You got all these people that know all this. You got geniuses out here. Geniuses. Yeah, where Jesus at? So, no, but Christians don't want to talk about that. Notice that. Ask them. Shouldn't, with all the spiritual energy, with all the prayers, with all the money, shouldn't Jesus be back to, at least pat Negroes on the head? Something. Nothing. Come on, y'all. See, that's what I'm saying. We be playing. We be hiding. We be bullshitting. We be bullshitting. So if all this, what you seeing is going to stop, that means we got to stop bullshitting. Just trying to make a few. Do you know right now that we're in the power we can make money, whatever it is? That's how far the dollar's falling. But our belief, what we think about it. You say, you're the one who say you're God's. You're the one who says you're the first man. Right? I'm just using your logic, what you say. Yeah, I say that we're the indigenous people to America. Indigenous people, you can look at them and tell. So this sister, Indigenous Accawmacke, she doesn't look like that sister from Africa who got up talking about COVID the other day. Women from Africa and women here are two totally different species. Whatever somebody tells us, that's what we go with. We don't even look at our own mamas and say, this is where we are. We cool with it. We'll lay our lives down for it, for some dumb shit. We don't even ask ourselves, well, how come there's no African Muhammad Ali's? How come there's no, if those are our parents, if those are our mothers and fathers, then they birthed us. Shouldn't we come from a greater stock? Where's the Africans? Aretha Franklin, Stevie Wonders. Where's the African Marvin Gaye's? Where's the African Tupac's? I ain't talking about the ones who like now, the ones who copied him. I'm talking about originality. You will give all that away. You will kill your grandmama to be other people. You gonna pay for that, homie. You will wipe out your grandmama. And grandmama always cool. Grandmama always got something extra for you. Always gonna tell you the truth. Never gonna bullshit. You see, The reason I like doing this is because people who think come here. We can have a dialogue. If you can't explain what you're saying, come on, dude. So check out what this brother writes. He said, you can have a picture of me and Nelson Mandela and see who's the American and who's the African. People who think, these are people who think. These are people, if they put all the so-called, what you call black people, and none of them are black, the people who live around the equator, close to the equator, people who look like their environment, stop getting in color, let's not get into the color thing. Those people, who are they? Who you couldn't tell a woman from America and a woman from Africa? You couldn't tell, you can't tell the difference. You can't tell the difference between the men of America and the men of Africa, ladies. You can't tell the difference. Tyrone, much love, man. I appreciate you, brother. Huh? You can't tell the difference between the men of Africa and the men of America? Where's the African Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? Where's the African Kobe Bryant? If we come from there, hey, the kid should be off the hook. But it's reverse. That's not happening. They're leaving their homes, coming over here to squat on your ass. What does that mean? I mean, I'm just asking a question. What does that mean? I come to your house every day to eat. What does that tell you? I mean, this is the African, these are things that African Americans don't think about, ever. What does it say that I come to your house every day to eat? What does that say to you? Will leave ditch. The greatest place on earth, the civilization of mankind. Oh my God. They have mountains made of gold. It's so wonderful. So why are you here, Nick? I mean, that's what I want to know. I know some Negroes want to know where they get that kente cloth hat from. I know that's what most shines think. That's my question. If Africa is so great, why are you over here? And don't tell me you all that job school shit, because you got people over there now living, trying to get their land back. Why are you over here? Why they over there? Why are you leaving them hanging like that? Then you know what happened? The African American will come in and try to save them. Don't listen to him. That's what the African American does. So you got to see what the African American is used for, not only for a specific group of people, but for the world. So you have to look at what African Americans, what's their purpose? Because we learned menticide is what? Eating up a person's mind so they can kill themselves off. You can do the job faster if you get them to participate in it, and your hands won't be as dirty. Because one of the things we can't say, why we have our hands tied and why we don't say nothing and why we don't teach our kids, is because we know that most of us, we're in on it. We're in on it. We support it. We feed it to our children. We eat it. We love it. Be honest. Be honest. Be honest. Because if you wouldn't, it wouldn't work. See, you think you better than the brother who's walking because you got a car. You got 5, 6, 7, 8 cars. Not one of those cars couldn't be sold, and we do a program for the kids teaching them their genealogy around the city. That couldn't be done. You got all the money, but no, they just want you because you got 7, 8 cars, and we can't say nothing different because you believe that, and and so this is where we are. We don't grow. Our children are asking questions that I love to see kids ask their parents questions. The look in the parents' face when they don't know shit that they should know. Daddy, how come these foreigners driving Mercedes Benzes and I got to take the bus? The look in their face, like, huh? That's where we are. Come on. See, be honest about it. Because a lot of y'all mad at me. Y'all don't be saying that. No, this is what you do. You do this shit proudly. You will support another person before you support yourself. And arrogant about, I can do what I want to do. Nigga, you don't tell me what to do. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying, and wouldn't it make sense if we traded with each other? That means we'll never be without. But when we put it outside of ourselves, it's a deficit against us. Right? Am I right? Especially with those other people out there, they don't give to you at all. You see the rest of the world doing that, and then you do it against yourself. I know y'all gonna be mad at me. He don't know what he talking about, but ugh. That's what you aspire to be? Someone who works against himself? For real, God? For real? You see all this going on in front of you, and you just gonna shuck and jive. You see all this shit going on. You ain't gonna say nothing. You gonna send memes to Africans and Native Americans trying to condemn the brothers who's standing up for himself. And that's what you do. That's what African Americans do. Am I lying?